I wanted to start this video by showing you my face without any makeup, and you can see how I look then with the full face of makeup done. And if you would like to see how this makeup look was achieved, please keep watching the video. So I wanted to show you this little clip of me putting my hair up so you can just see the difference between my hands and my arms compared to my face. I already had my spray tan done, so there was a huge difference. We are starting the makeup look with eyebrows, and Candace is using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the color dark brown, and she is applying it with the Anastasia spoolie brush. So one end of it is an angled brush and the other end of it is a little spoolie that you can use for combing the eyebrows. We're really not changing the shape of my eyebrows, we're just filling them in, and one of my eyebrows is a little bit different shape than the other, so we're just kind of making them match, but we are not creating an eyebrow by any means. The next thing we're going to do is take this MAC Conceal and Correct medium palette in the color Mid Peach, and we are applying that around my eyebrows with just a pretty dense flat concealer brush. So she's going below my eyebrows, above my eyebrows, and then she's also going to go in between my eyes. And we're doing this first just to make sure that the eyebrows look really nice and clean. The eyebrows really frame the face, so by doing this first, it just makes them look nice and crisp and clean, and it's going to make the whole look just end up looking a lot better. And the beauty of making a video in a hotel room is that sometimes you get interrupted by housekeeping. So here Candace is just finishing applying this concealer around my eyes. And then the next thing that we're going to do after this is apply some eyeshadow primer, which is what she's doing right now, and she is just using her finger. And we are using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer for this step. Now we're going into the eyeshadows, and for this we are using the Bombshell Fitness B11 Makeup Palette, and we're just using a matte finish cream colored shade and just putting it right underneath my eyebrow. We're also going to end up using this same light shade in the corners of my eyes just to make them really look open and bright. So now she's applying it just in the very corner, and we're going to do that on both eyes before we move into the lid color. For the lid color, we're using that same Bombshell Fitness B11 palette, and we are using the gold color, and she is applying it to my lid but then also going up kind of into the crease a little bit, as you can see. Another good thing about applying the eyeshadow first is that if there is any fallout from the eyeshadow, before you end up doing the foundation and whatnot, you can just come back and clean up anything that fell underneath the eyes without having to worry about messing up any foundation or anything that you've already done on your face. At this point, we're just going to be taking a clean blending brush and blending those colors together, blending that cream color that we put under the brow with the gold that's on the lids. Next, we're going to be using that same Bombshell Fitness B11 palette. We're going to take the medium brown eyeshadow shade and we're applying it in the outer corners of my eyes and in the crease. Now we're again taking that clean blending brush and blending the work that we just did, which was that medium brown color in the crease. And we're just blending it in with the colors that we already had in place on my eyes. The next step is to take the MAC NW35 Studio Tech foundation and apply that with a foundation brush to my whole face. So Candace is going over that concealer that we did previously to blend that all in. And this foundation is about one shade darker than my actual skin tone. It still looks a lot lighter than my spray tan. We are going to come back in and use another darker foundation to darken that up. But right now we're just getting my whole face covered with the NW35. The next step is going to be to take a damp body blender and just really pat that foundation into my skin. And again, we're doing this just to make everything look really perfect and flawless and like it just blends seamlessly. The next step is to take the MAC Matchmaster 7.5 foundation with the damp body blender, and we're just going to be applying this around the edges of my face. We're applying it to my forehead, we're applying it to the sides of my face, and along my jawline. This is what's going to really make the color blend in with the dark color of my spray tan. And again, you really want to pat this into the skin. You don't want to rub it. If you rub it, you'll end up just rubbing the product off. So really pat it into the skin. Now we are taking that same concealer color that we used earlier around my eyebrows, which is we're using the same MAC concealer palette in the same color, mid peach, with the same brush that we used earlier. And she is just making a triangle area underneath my eyes and along the sides of my nose. This is just going to really make that area look bright. And when I get on stage, it's going to make it to where my skin doesn't look so muddy. My eyes are going to be bright, and this is also going to lay the groundwork for the contour that we are about to do. If you're not sure what type of nose contour you need to do, there are plenty of YouTube videos on nose contouring. We are definitely doing a method that is best for my nose here. So we're taking it pretty high up. We're taking the light color pretty high up on the sides of my nose because my nose is wide, and basically we're just going to make it appear that my nose is thinner by doing this contour and highlight method. Right now, Candace is applying that same highlight shade to my chin and to the areas on my jaw that are above my jawline but below the contour area that we are about to do. Just going to make my face look like it has more dimension. And what you want to do at this point is take that same damp body blender and pat the color into the skin and just make it blend seamlessly with the foundation colors that we have already put on my face. Now it's time for the contour, and Candace is using another flat, dense, bristled brush. This one is from Sephora, and we are doing the contour with that same shade of that darker foundation, the MAC Master 7.5, and she is doing it just underneath my cheekbones, and she is also going to be putting some right next to the place where we came up on the sides of my nose with that highlight color. She's drawing a straight line with it down my nose, and again, this is what we needed for the shape of my nose. If you're not sure, get on YouTube, watch a nose contouring tutorial. There are some really good ones on there, but this one is what's going to work for my nose. Giving you a close-up view here so you can see exactly what we're doing and exactly how seamlessly everything is going to blend together. Right now, Candace is using a brush that is from Sephora. It's just a multitasking brush, and she is just using it to really blend that contour into everything that we've already done. You can see that color on her hand. You can tell how much darker that foundation is than my skin. It's the perfect color for competition makeup. She is now taking the edge, just the very edge of that brush, and using it to blend in that nose contour. On this nose contour, you want to be careful that you're not rubbing too hard, because if you're rubbing too hard, you're just going to rub everything away. Right now, we're using that same concealer color that we used around my eyebrows and underneath my eyes, and just drawing a straight line down the center of my nose. This is going to create the appearance of my nose being a lot thinner than it actually is. And she's using that same damp body blender to blend this in with the other colors that we have already put on my nose for the nose contour. We ended up coming back in with the dark color and applying it to the tip of my nose, just because I felt like my nose was looking elongated by having that light color all the way down. Right now we're doing a process called baking, and we're taking the Ben Nye Luxury Powder in the color Cameo. We're applying it with a dry makeup wedge, and we're just going to put it on those same areas that we highlighted. So anywhere that we have just put concealer for the highlight, we're just going back over that, and you can use a good amount of powder on here. You will be able to tell exactly how much powder she was using. It ended up all over my shirt, and that's what you want. You want to get it really heavy on there because you are going to brush it away again shortly. But what this is doing is it's just getting rid of any creases or lines that are left from the foundation, and it's making everything look very smooth and flawless. Right now we're taking the Anastasia Powder Contour Kit. We're using the color Havana, so if you're looking at the palette, it's the one on the bottom right. And we're just going over those same areas that we used the MAC Master 7.5 for the contour. We're just going over that, and we're setting it with this Anastasia Contour Powder Kit. You can use any kind of a blush brush or a multitasking brush for this step, just whichever kind you want to use. And you can tell that we are having way too much fun during this makeup video. We're also really getting it into my jawline so that it will blend with that spray tan color really nicely. The next step is going to be to set the nose contour with that same Anastasia powder contour kit Havana color. We are using this brand new that I just purchased, this MAC Oval 3 brush, and it is amazing for nose contouring. It's small enough that you really get some good detail with it. At this point, the powder baking had probably been on my face for 10 or 15 minutes. It really needs to be on that long. And we are taking the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Dark Deep with a fluffy powder brush. And we are applying this to my whole face. So we're brushing away all of the excess powder that we used for the baking process. And we're also just putting a layer of kind of dark powder over my skin. It makes everything blend very nicely. Really finishes the look that we needed for my skin tone. The next step is going to be to apply an illuminator, and Candace is using the Anastasia Glow Kit in the color Mimosa for this. You want to be sure and do this before you do the blush. It just looks better if you do it before the blush. So we applied it underneath my eyes above where my blush is going to go, and we also applied it on my chin and down the bridge of my nose. Candace wanted me to do my own blush because everybody's just kind of different about where they like their blush to be. So I am using that Bombshell Fitness V11 kit again. There's a really nice kind of a mauvey, pinky, shimmery blush color in that kit, and that is the one that I chose to use. And you want to be sure that you get plenty of blush when you're doing competition makeup, because when you get on stage, everything gets really washed out. So you want to make sure that your cheeks are nice and rosy, look very healthy on stage. Now we are going to take a smaller eyeshadow brush and go underneath my eyes with an eyeshadow color. It's the same color that we used in the crease earlier. So we are going underneath my eyes with that, just a really thin line, and then we are connecting that and putting a little bit more in the crease, just doing it kind of over what we did earlier. Now it's time for eyeliner, and for the eyeliner we are using the Kat Von D tattoo liner in the color Trooper, which is just black. And I never wear this much makeup, but I especially never wear this much eyeliner. We wanted to make my eyes look like they are a lot bigger than they actually are. So we're extending this wing out much farther than I would do for a daily basis. You have to remember, this is for the stage. Everything needs to be more dramatic. So you can definitely go bigger and with more drama than you ever would just for a realistic day. With the eyeliner, it's important to remember that you want to start with a thinner line on the inside corners of your eyes and make sure that it gets thicker as you get to the outside corner of the eyes. This is going to make your eyes look a lot bigger. This Kat Von D liner is a liquid liner. It's very easy to use. I highly recommend it. I use it on a daily basis and for stage, and I love it. So as you can see, we did very dramatic eyes, and we are topping that off with some Ardell Wispy false eyelashes. These are my favorite ones. You can get them at any drugstore. They're super cheap, and to me, they're just perfect. They're not too much. To me, if you get eyelashes that are too thick and long, they can actually make your eyes look smaller when you get on stage. You definitely do not want that to happen. And Candace is just using the end of some tweezers to get these where she wants them on my eye and make sure that they're sticking really well. One step that we didn't actually film, but that is important, is when your false eyelashes dry, you want to be sure and put a coat of mascara on. So that is going to blend your natural lashes with the false lashes really nicely. At this point, we're just wiping away anything that may have fallen during the process of just finishing the eyes. We also had to film this at a separate time because I had to get my booty on stage after the first time we did my makeup. So this is actually a day later whenever we did my makeup again for the second day of my competition. But I am just using the Sephora Gel Lip Liner in the color It's Cherry. And then for the actual lip color, I'm going to be using the Balm Cosmetics Meet Matte Hues in the color Sentimental. It's just a liquid lipstick. And my competition swimsuit is red, and I love that color to go with the red suit. And then I am using my very favorite lip liner, I'm using my very favorite lip gloss that I use over absolutely every color of lipstick that I ever wear. And it is Bare Minerals Marvelous Moxie in the color Miss Popular. And you can see how my makeup turned out. It looks beautiful. And on stage it blended so nicely with my competition tan. We were very happy with the outcome. I hope that you've learned a lot from this video, and best of luck to you with your competition makeup. Thank you for watching.